Forrest Tyler Goetsch never let anything hold him back from being special. Not the facial deformity or the multiple jaw surgeries. Forrest was special in everything that he did.
First day that I met him, his personality, he was addicting. He's one of those kids that just, you find a special place in your heart and you work your butt off to, try to make his day a little bit brighter, because he was definitely making your day better.
Forrest is a cool cat. For people that didn't know him, he was a funny guy. He was also a serious guy. He took academics serious as heck. I remember in senior Bry's class, he'd kick my ass in Spanish.
We were sitting near each other, and I remember he was sitting next to Nick Sierakowski, and it was one of those classes that you were kind of bored in, and Forrest is typing on his calculator and looks at Nick and shows him the calculator and turns it upside down and just spells boobs.
He was always laughing. He had such a good sense of humor. He found humor in so many things, and he had the ability to spread that to others.
What are some of your fondest memories of Forrest?
His bony little ass sitting on my lap and cracking jokes.
It seemed that Forrest made an impact on everyone around him, whether it was in the classroom, around his family and friends, or competing in the sports that he loved. Forrest had a meaningful impression on everybody that he met.
He was a young man who didn't let the physical challenges that he faced stop him, keep him from doing and achieving. He left a lasting mark. I remember watching him play basketball, marveling at his athletic ability, learning about his running ability. Had he lived, no doubt one of the top cross-country runners in the state. He was that good. So, and he didn't let what he had been born with impact. He persevered. He went above and beyond and lived life to the fullest.
He'd run in the morning and in the evening, and he'd make you go out there and run with him, and Brad and I would just be exhausted, and he'd be floating like a feather, and you knew that was something special. And that's the first time. We don't come from a running family, so you're like, the kid's got something that nobody else had.
Forrest had a passion of fishing and hunting, you could never believe.
When he shot his first deer up north, he got so excited when we first found the deer that he went completely white in the face. He was shaking, and he was it was just true elation, and that just is what his personality and what he was like as an individual always. No matter what was happening, I always went up to him. If he shot 5 ducks, I shot 6 ducks, and I probably didn't even hunt that day. If he caught a 27-inch northern, mine was 28 and a half, just to try to beat him on that. And he always knew I was lying, and he knew it, and it was just one of those things. So it was just, we had a great, fun relationship.
You know how to push my buttons and get under my skin very much, and you'd just do it in everything, even if it came to a video game, basketball, baseball, or whatever we were doing outside. There always had to be a competition between me and him. Other than that, he was the most competitive player I ever met.
One of the last times I had talked to him was I was out for my run, and I came up by the junior high, and I stopped and I was talking to Paula, and Forrest had come over to me, and he said, "How far did you go?" And I told him, and he goes, "Well, how fast were you?" And I gave him a pretty much made up number. He goes, I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm going to go with you next time." And I said, "Well, that's a deal." And there's probably no way I could have run the time that I gave him, but I guarantee you he would have pushed me the time to try to beat me, which he would have. And I said, "Well, next time we get together, we're going to go for that run," and we just never got the chance. So
14-year-old Forrest Goetsch was warming up around this track at DC Everest when he collapsed Monday afternoon. Now, school district leaders are struggling with how to explain this tragic and unexpected death.
All I remember was I felt a little different that day. It was just didn't feel like it was like a worse Monday, I would say.
The memory that sticks out with me were 8th grade Bart Heckendorf football practice. We were doing our regular drills and look off to the side, and Bart kind of gets somebody to come up by him, and they seemed a little flustered, and they signaled Mr. Reinschmidt, and Mr. Reinschmidt he always said he was a football star, but he should have been a track star because the way he was running down to the field, he knew something was going on.
I was coaching football, and I'm a pretty intense guy when it comes to coaching. I'm a pretty intense guy when it comes to teaching or just being in general, and I was focused on what I was doing. And a couple of former students came running up that were dance squad members or dance team members, and told me that somebody passed out on the track and they sent for me to get help. So of course, being grumpy that I had to leave my football practice, I went running over there, and I got to the top of the track, and I remembered as vivid as it was. I looked down, I looked over, and I saw them doing CPR on a student. And at that point, I didn't know who the student was.
Went onto the bus like normal at the middle school, and then rode over to the junior high, and then we left where the buses come out. We left, and then I would say we were halfway down the street, and then the ambulance passed us.
I ran down to there. As I got closer, I noticed that it was Forrest. And so again, after when I first got there, being an EMT and a firefighter, I go into EMT and firefighter mode.
I got another phone call from a person in law enforcement that knew me and asked me, do you know someone that went down at the track? And I said, yeah, someone just called me, and he said it doesn't look good, and it's Forrest Goetsch for sure, because the other person, was kind of, I didn't want to, really believe it at first until you hear from someone official, and the person that informed me said it was Forrest, and I just pretty much dropped to my knees, and it was hard, because memories come back just like that.
I didn't think it would be the outcome of what it was, but I walked in, I sat down, didn't know what to expect, and then went to the front desk, asked for mom and dad, and they came out and they were crying. They hugged me, and they go, Forrest passed away. And it broke my heart.
I made a promise that I'd never let him be forgotten while they were working on him. When I got to the track, I knew he was gone. And I was able to stay with them until they made me leave. But I made that promise that he'd never be forgotten.
After Forrest's passing, which was described as a pericardial tamponade, Steve's promise became a reality as the Goetsch family began planning a memorial run that would directly impact the community of Weston, Wisconsin.
Despite the medical challenges that Forrest would face in his life, he had great perseverance, dedication, determination, and motivation to succeed in life, in school, and in sports.
This is truly about giving back to those that have gone through challenging times, recognizing others that are doing good things in our community, teaching other kids about people that might look different, but they're still a human being. There's still a heart in them, and they love people, and they're part of a family. And I think as we evolve in this community, that's what we're trying to strive to recognize, that good things that come from this, everybody has challenges. We can overcome those challenges, and it's easier when we work together.
I think what I look forward to is seeing how God used an incredible family in a difficult situation of losing a son and bringing about something so positive and so good from it, and that God works through the bad to bring about incredible, godly, good things. And I think that's what I see every year in Forrest Run, and I think the run has become way bigger than I could have ever imagined or possibly fathomed. And so from the volunteers to the people that show up, you see the hearts and the love of our community that pulls together, especially when things get tough. And I don't think that there's too many communities like that.
One part that people have is they always say, well, I'm just one person. How can I make a difference? Well, I'll tell you what, you take a lot of one people and you can move a lot of things together as a collective group.
You know, for somebody who maybe thinks that they can't accomplish something, you know, they're not good enough, you know, they can look at Forrest and say, you know, he had a lot of stuff handed to him and he overcame it and, you know, just accomplished so much, and that, you know, knowing him, you can do anything you set your mind to.
I look forward to seeing the community come out to support, not just Forrest Run, but I hope people start to realize and understand this is about our community. And as we take these steps and move forward, I hope that they see that I look forward to someday people seeing the whole picture as I envision it and as our board envisions it, that we can make a difference in our community, give back to our community, and do it in a great way that helps our community, many other lives, to be able to take steps when we encounter these tragedies, that there's other people there to help you out. And not everybody has that type of support, but we want people to know that there are people there to help them through these challenging times.
And I think what's going to evolve out of this, and this is a dream of both Paula and Steve and Brad, is the Ronald McDonald House. That concept was huge for them. It was a lifesaver. It gave them a place to go where they could relax. People understood what they were going through. And Forrest Gates Charities has a dream of helping to accomplish that same type of project here in Wausau, to be a part of that, where families can come who are facing medical challenges, whether they're children, adults, a place to go where they can stay, where people understand what they're going through. And I think that's a big part of what we're driving toward.
Hi, my name is Goetsch. I'm gonna go pick up a carton of fish. I'm gonna open a chicken. I'm gonna go to do. Gonna go get
I live out how he wanted his life to be, so I'm just want to be like him.
You see all these people running across, you know, finish line, and I guarantee you he's running with every one of those kids. So, and all those people that support that race, he's out there doing good. So that's the good part, you know, that's the good part, seeing all the smiles and all the things that come from it.
I crossed that finish line and I am like, relieved, because it is such a great accomplishment, you know, like for the whole committee and everything that we put into it, that it's just, I just love the feeling of knowing like we did it and everything pulled together. I think the biggest impact from my viewpoint that Forrest had is letting people see that yes, it is true that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to, that through perseverance, determination, commitment, and positive attitude, you can reach the goals that you set out to accomplish.
you